This is the another disease which goes by the name malaria. Malaria has been considered to be as pandemic long back during 19th century, where it has been spread to many uh, population where people got died suffering from malaria. Even like you can consider it as a most dangerous also, even killing many people. So let's see what malaria gives you the knowledge. Here you can see the pathogen of the malaria goes by name Plasmodium. It's like a protozoan. It's not a bacterial, it's not a viral, it's not a fungal, but a kind of a category of protistans called protozoans. And the name of the organism is Plasmodium, and it is having three different types of species: Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malaria, and Plasmodium falciparum, or the three different species of Plasmodium responsible for different types of malaria. And one of the most malignant, which can be very dangerous, is caused by Plasmodium falciparum, and even it can be very fatal, like it can kill. Remember, malarial disease is caused not by the mosquito, but mosquito or female Anopheles mosquito act as a carrier or a vector. So that means Plasmodium is carried by the female Anopheles mosquito from a patient to healthy person. Okay, now in order to understand malarial life cycle, you need to know that Plasmodium require two hosts. Host mean two organisms, without which it cannot survive. So it require both human as well as mosquito. You can see in this picture how neatly it has been described, where it all starts with mosquito biting the human. Okay, so once it bites the human, it sends a type of cells called sporozoites. So the very first time when Plasmodium enters, it is in the form of sporozoites. These sporozoites goes into the bloodstream and infect the liver first, where sporozoites metamorphosis into another type called merozoites, and whenever they are ready, merozoites start infecting the red blood cells. Okay, so what it will do once it goes into the RBC, it will form as many as tropozoites possible. Okay, so that means by the time it ruptures, you see here, these tropozoites will increase in number. So now you can consider this place as a multiple fission. Whether you remember or not, multiple fission is a method in which Plasmodium increases their number many folds, but still living in a single cell. Okay, and then once all the small forms like scisont forms become mature, all this multiple number ruptures the RBC and they come out. Okay, they come out in the form of merozoites. Okay, the more and more merozoites will be coming out. So this rupturing of RBC is the very first sign of the symptom. You can see the rupture of RBC is associated with the release of a toxin called hemozoin. Very important one mark question. Hemozoin, which is responsible for chill and high fever, and it continues for every 3 to 4 days. So this is the onset of the malaria. Okay, fine. What happens next? These merozoites continuously infect the RBC. Now, while they are doing it, they start forming two strains, that is male strain and female strain in the RBC, and which we can call them as gametocytes. You see, try to understand gametocytes. Gametocytes means these are like acting like a gametes, like male gamete and female gamete. They keep producing in the RBC. Now, what happens is these gametocytes being present in the blood. If a new mosquito comes, Anopheles mosquitoes comes and sucks the blood, these gametocytes enter into the gut, that means digestive system of the mosquito. So that means by the time the plasmodium stays in the human blood liver, then what happens is it completes its asexual reproduction. Right? Just keep that in your head. So asexual reproduction gets completed in the human body, but by the time they go into the mosquito, the secondary host, whatever the gametocytes they have entered, they start becoming as a macrogamete and microgamete. So these micro and macrogametes resembles like a microgamete resemble as a sperm cell, and macrogamete resembles like a ovum, like sexual reproduction. So these microgametes fuse with the macrogamete by sexual reproduction involving fertilization. So that means that sexual reproduction occur in the female Anopheles mosquito in the gut. So once the zygote is formed, the zygote undergoes so many mitotic divisions where the lining of the midgut, that means the salivary glands of the mosquito gets infected by these ookinates. They become more and more mature. They become oocytes, and these oocytes, once they are mature, they will rupture. You see here, they will rupture the salivary glands, releasing more and more sporozoites. Okay, these sporozoites are ready, and that means they are near to the salivary gland. Try to understand, once the sporozoites are formed, these sporozoites will migrate to the salivary gland, and the mosquito when bites a healthy person, the sporozoites are delivered into a healthy human being. Okay, so this is how the life cycle of Plasmodium takes place. Now the sporozoites enter into the human body where where it infects the liver, and they develop merozoites. Merozoites infect RBC. RBC forms more and more merozoites. They forms two types of cells called gametocytes. Once a new mosquito comes and sucks the blood out of the patient, once the blood taken into the mosquito's body, these gametocytes develop into macro and micro gametocytes. Fertilization takes place, that is sexual reproduction occurring in the mosquito gut, and the fertilization lead to the formation of so many ookinates, and they are migrated to the salivary glands where these oocytes undergo multiple number of mitotic divisions, really forming the sporozoites. Once they reach the salivary glands, the mosquito is ready to infect a healthy human. There it releases the sporozoites. So this is how the Plasmodium life cycle continues. Okay, the textbook part is given right over here again. You see here the same thing, whatever we have learned till now. This is how the life cycle continues. You can see the RBC getting ruptured, releasing the merozoites, and you can see asexually they produce gametocytes. Gametocytes are taken by the mosquito, enters into the mosquito gut, and the rest of the cycle continues. So this is a very important 5-mark question. You can see this is another picture right over here. You can see how the RBC rupture causing the release of the gametocytes. It's a clear-cut picture of RBC getting ruptured and releasing the gametocytes, and they are ready to be taken by the mosquito.